Most everybody calls me Johnny. And you'll find me out at the airport most any day of the week. I'm what they call a commissionaire. And it's my job to keep people out of trouble. You know, just keeping an eye on things. Helping the folks out there to meet their friends. And helping my own friends, the boys who work around the tarmac. I like this job. And every day I like it more. Because I'm among people. To me, having friends and being among decent people are two of the most important things in the world. When I first started here, I used to envy the passengers that had folks at the airport waiting for them. It took me a long time to make friends with the air crews, but I did. And today I'm probably one of the happiest guys in the world, just keeping people out of trouble. But it wasn't always like this. No, sir. Not so long ago, I was the one with the trouble, and I had it all to myself. Yeah, this was me. I was this man. Empty, bleary-eyed. I was a bum. A drunk. And this was my world. My home, if you could call it that. And these were my friends. Some of them good friends. Nice guys, some of them. But this is my story, not theirs. Yeah, this is Skid Road, where a few coins mean everything. And everything means anything to drink. Booze. Enough for wino? No. How about Rubby then? Or Basie? Canned heat, maybe? You kind of fit your taste to your budget, and you make tracks for the mixing room. The Steam Fitters Union, we called it. Nothing but a hole in the wall, but it was off the street. And that's where the boys made their steam. Rubby, rubbing alcohol with water. This is the stuff that hits you. And if you hang out on Skid Road, that's the way you want it. Pick a day in my life, then. Any day. What's the difference? They're all the same. After panhandling around the streets, Dick and me'd get together at Pigeon Park. If pickings were good, we'd get socked and stay socked. If they were bad, we'd end up half sober and looking for a meal. And that's about the time we'd head for the Harbour Light. That's where a bum can always count on a meal. Though he may never sober up long enough to figure out why, the door is always open.
Now let us turn to number 2 in the song sheet, men, and a real good sing together. Amen. Sing them over again to me, wonderful words of life. Let me more like you did.
The singing should have meant something to me, but it didn't. We'd laugh, make noise, in anger or maybe shame. But instead of throwing us out like they might have, they let us stay.
Good night, fellows. God bless you.
And afterwards, we'd be welcome to take food, plain, nourishing, filling food, the kind that irons out wrinkles in stomachs cramped with hunger, sore from a diet of raw booze. And I should have been grateful. But the more I ate, the more sober I got, and the more ashamed I got of what I'd become. And with shame came anger, unreasonable anger, that made me turn away from kindness. Anger that made me shove aside the parting gift of bread, made me go out into the dark streets. Out into the night where the bright lights, the artificial lights, only served to make the shadows longer and darker. At night you stick with your friends. If there's no booze, you need company. If there is booze, you share the jag. And while the jag lasts, tomorrow's a long way off. But tomorrow comes with its thick head. So you're still thirsty, yeah, and broke as usual. Any pride you ever had has gone. Your mind just naturally turns to panhandling. The only, but only way to get dough. Money for booze. It's all you can think of. Yeah, and when we made a touch, it was like backing a winner at the races. $50, and you've hit the jackpot. Enough for Basie. That's bay rum and pop. And you can't get at it fast enough. You take a little. It's slow at first. Then it hits faster. And then you just let go. You don't care what happens. Since you're never quite sober, it doesn't take long to get gassed up good. And then you're suddenly past all feeling. You're standing on your feet, they leave you alone. But flat on your back, you get picked up fast. And you're in no shape to object. A ride to the city bucket makes you the center of interest for a short time. But it doesn't do any good, because you're out cold. This wasn't my first trip to the jail. After the first couple of times, though, you don't feel any shame. It's just sort of routine. And the morning after, you don't remember a thing. except that you've been here before. And you're not surprised when they escort you in to meet the officer from the Salvation Army Prison Services. These people never seem to get fed up with trying. This was the routine, but somehow, for me, this visit was to be different from all the others. Oh, he talked about the usual things. We went through the same deal as always. Only this time, like I said, it was to be different. The officer was called away. I was left alone. Guess it's just habit makes you look around. Usually nothing new in here, except the organ. I used to be a musician. I wonder if I can still play. My fingers. I wondered if they were quick once. Yeah, music. It was still there in my fingers, still in them. That time it was different. I'd never thought of music leaving me, along with everything else. I bummed around for hours, letting my feet take me where they would. I walked for miles that day, or maybe it just seemed like that. But somehow my feet led me, or were led, to Harbour Light. And this time, the words came clearer. And when I left, I wondered, maybe I could get a job. Perhaps it would be worth trying. But I was confused. I hadn't worked for years. What could I do? That's when I saw my old friend. I'd ask him. And this one time I wasn't going to panhandle. This time I wanted advice. But the cop didn't know that. Far worse, my old friend didn't know me. It's hard to tell exactly what did it. But I think that tried the old pump organ, the discords, the visit again to Harbour Light, then to realize that I was a complete stranger to a man who'd once known me very well. Finally, the dull truth seeped through. I'd really hit bottom. That's what did it. I'd finally come to see myself as others saw me. I'd looked into my own soul. There was nothing there. It was empty. So I'd come here again, and this time the words were clear. I listened to their invitation. This time I wanted help, and I knew it. I'd seen others walk to the mercy seat. I'd seen them kneel down and pray for the first time in their lives, and I'd scoffed. But not this time. I was the one to kneel at the mercy seat, and I was the one for whom the prayers were said. Inside of me, all was quiet. Come clean with my conscience, and now I was coming clean with the body. There's nothing subtle about the treatment. You use plenty of soap, and you like it, and how you like it. They give you a medical, just like the old army days. Yeah, and even vitamin pills. It was going to take a lot of pills to undo the damage of 10 years on Skid Row. But I was started. And this was my room. And this, hard to believe, was my bed. How had this happened to me? I think I murmured thanks, but I still don't know how the word got past the lump in my throat. It was all like being back in the army. It was the army, a glad sort of army. I suddenly had the feeling that I belonged to something, and it was great. But I was still a raw recruit. I had a lot to learn about the enemy that was still inside me, and I had a long way to go. And I had to earn my way, too. And until I learned how to earn it, I had to do all sorts of odd jobs, even dusting. And that's when I came across the organ again. Naturally, I wondered. Some of my old self-confidence came back, and with it came an idea of how much others were doing to help me to help myself. In the study group, I realized that I wasn't the only one making a comeback, that ours wasn't the only Harbour Light. There are other Harbour Lights all over the country, set up just to help guys like me. I'd gotten away to a good start, but once you start, you've got to keep going. Our next need was a job. Sitting around, waiting, works against you. You get restless. You get restless hoping that someone, somewhere will need you to do a job, to let you prove to yourself that you're Well, you're okay. We were on trial. Long days, long hours, and only the freedom to come and go seemed to hold life in balance. It was a slender balance that could be so easily lost. It made you nervous, wondering. And there was temptation. Alcohol and my old pal. For the first time in 10 years, I turned away from it. As I walked out of the shadows, the sun was warm and friendly on my back. My reward was work. Menial? Not to me. No, this was my chance to prove something. That I had come back, that I could take it, that I could take anything. More than that, it was a chance to pay my way, for the first time in 10 years, with money that I'd earned myself. When you make a move forward in this battle, the whole army is right beside you, just as interested in your victory as you are. They found I could be trusted with minor chores. Now I'd reached a point where I was recommended for a steady job. It's the Army all over again. If you're really good, you get commissioned. If you're not, you stay put. Time and effort, the endless patience that the Army had shown in my case were paying off, and the record was on file. I'd made the grade. And now I was moving forward to make room for the next man. Up ahead, I joined with others each Sunday morning to give testimony and to pray for the deliverance of those still in the shadows. Around me, I heard stories that were the same as mine, from human beings who had come off the same skid road. And I wondered, not at my own rescue, but rather that the hand of God was so near, and that I had been so slow to take it. Every Sunday morning I leave the meeting with renewed faith and new strength. And I have a wife now. She meets me there. She's taken up the task of helping me to find my way back. Believe me, I need the strength of her faith and her trust. And I'm proud to walk down the street beside her. It all seems so long ago that it's hard to believe. But that's the true story behind the man in this uniform. And it's the reason why I like the sunshine and people. Now, every time I watch people board a plane and their loved ones wave them Godspeed, every time I see the motors start up and the great planes taxi out onto the field for their journey, I contrast it with my own journey. when I was without guidance or hope. And I thank God there is a power, His power, to lift people like me out of the shadows of the skid road and carry them into the sunshine of His salvation, into the blue skies of hope and a happiness I can't describe.